In January 2013, the quiet town of Valdosta, Georgia found itself thrust into the national spotlight when the mysterious and deeply disturbing death of 17-year-old Kendrick, KJ, Johnson became one of the most controversial and emotionally charged unsolved cases in America. Kendrick was a soft-spoken, athletic teenager who dreamed of becoming a professional football player, a kid loved by friends, admired by teachers, and raised by a family that believed in discipline, faith, and honesty. On January 10, 2013, Kendrick went to Lowndes High School like any normal day, carrying his books, greeting classmates, joking about weekend plans, and moving through the hallways with the laid-back confidence of a student who seemed to have no enemies. But beneath the surface, whispers circulated about conflicts involving other students, unresolved tensions, and the uncomfortable reality that high school drama sometimes hides real danger. According to school cameras, at around 1:09 p.m., Kendrick entered the old gym, an older facility rarely used for regular classes. He went there, investigators said, to retrieve a pair of shoes he stored behind large, rolled-up wrestling mats. Those mats stood vertically, towering nearly 6 feet tall, arranged in rows like giant pillars. What happened next is still debated to this day, because the next morning, at around 10:30 a.m. on January 11, two students walked into the same gym and discovered something horrifying: Kendrick's feet sticking out from inside one of the mats. His body was upside down, folded into the narrow center of the mat like he had plunged headfirst into a trap. Panic erupted. Teachers called 911. Police arrived. And soon, the gym became a crime scene, or at least, it should have been. Officers photographed the scene, but many later stated that the gym had not been properly secured. Students and staff continued walking around. Evidence could have been contaminated. Blood was found on the wall nearby, but it was never tested. A shoe found next to Kendrick's head was soaked in what looked like blood but was also dismissed without forensic testing. Despite the chaos and unanswered questions, investigators quickly ruled Kendrick's death as a tragic accident, positional asphyxia, meaning he got stuck while reaching for his shoe and suffocated. But Kendrick's family immediately rejected the explanation. They knew their son, his strength, his height, his athletic ability. They believed the story made no sense. Why would he voluntarily climb into a mat? How could he slip into something so narrow? And why would a strong athlete be unable to pull himself out? Their doubts deepened when they learned that the position of Kendrick's shoes didn't match the accident theory. The shoe he supposedly reached for was beneath him, untouched, uncrushed, sitting neatly beside his body, an impossible detail if he had fallen. His face appeared swollen, with traces of blood around his mouth. His clothes were strangely arranged, his socks spotless despite supposedly struggling inside the dusty mat. And then came the most disturbing revelation. During Kendrick's first autopsy, conducted by the state medical examiner, his internal organs mysteriously disappeared. When the Johnson family ordered a second independent autopsy, the pathologists opened Kendrick's body and found his organs missing, replaced with rolled-up newspaper. Shock turned into outrage. The funeral home claimed the organs were discarded due to decomposition. The state claimed they didn't know where the organs went. The family accused them all of negligence and a cover-up. And as national attention grew, more disturbing inconsistencies surfaced. Surveillance footage from the school was released, hours and hours of camera angles, but the clips relevant to Kendrick were strangely incomplete. Segments were missing. Angles did not align. One camera directly facing the mats appeared to skip frames or lose footage during the critical window. Experts reviewing the tape said it looked tampered with or improperly archived. The school said the cameras didn't record motion due to distance. The sheriff's office said the tapes were intact. Yet the missing timeline added even more doubt. Rumors then began to swirl. Students reported Kendrick had ongoing conflict with two brothers, both well-known athletes. Some said a fight had occurred months earlier. Although never proven, the story spread quickly because the boy's father worked for the FBI. This fact fueled public suspicion that someone powerful could be influencing the investigation. The accused students denied involvement. Their families denied all rumors. And still, the Johnson family believed their son had been attacked, and that the truth was being buried beneath layers of authority, privilege, and corruption. As protests erupted, national civil rights groups stepped in. Activists demanded justice. Media coverage exploded. Interviews aired across major networks. Kendrick's parents continued fighting relentlessly, holding rallies, speaking at city halls, marching with signs demanding the case be reopened. The pressure worked. In 2014, the U.S. Department of Justice announced a massive federal investigation into the death of Kendrick Johnson. For the first time, the possibility of foul play was officially considered. Investigators interviewed over 100 witnesses, pulled school files, re-examined evidence, and reviewed hours of footage. But after nearly 2 years, in 2016, the DOJ announced they found no proof that anyone murdered Kendrick and closed the case. The family was devastated. Many supporters believed the investigation had been influenced by internal politics. Then, in 2021, years later, after public pressure, the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office reopened the case. They reviewed 17 boxes of evidence, thousands of pages of documents, audio recordings, statements, surveillance files, autopsy reports, and every known detail. After months of re-evaluation, they again concluded there was no evidence of murder. This conclusion outraged the Johnson family, who believed more than ever that crucial evidence had been ignored, lost, or hidden. To this day, major questions remain unanswered. Why didn't the gym become a fully secured crime scene? Why were the bloodstains never tested? Why did Kendrick's organs vanish? Why did the video footage contain gaps? How did no one see or hear anything in a school with over 3,000 students? How could a healthy athletic teenager get trapped in a mat without signs of struggle? And why did so many details contradict an accidental death? Supporters argue that the truth was buried beneath influence, power, and fear. Critics of the family argue that rumors and misinformation fueled false conclusions. Yet the emotional core remains, a grieving family still seeking closure after more than a decade. Kendrick's father once said, "My son didn't climb into that mat. Somebody put him there." His mother said, "Until my last breath, I will fight for him." And across America, countless people still believe the truth about Kendrick Johnson remains hidden, buried beneath newspaper, missing organs, missing answers, and a timeline that never made sense. Today, the gym remains unchanged. Students walk past it daily. Life in Valdosta continues. But for the Johnson family, every unanswered question is a wound that refuses to heal. Every unexplained detail is a reminder of a truth still trapped in silence. And until that silence breaks, Kendrick Johnson's story will continue to haunt investigators, divide communities, and stand as one of the most troubling unsolved cases of modern American history, an echo of injustice, lingering in the quiet halls of Lowndes High School.